These are the 10 most overrated players in the entire NFL, and number 1 is going to make an entire fan base come after me. Good, but we start at number 10. Sauce Gardner. Let me tell you the story the highlight reels skip. 2 first-team All-Pro seasons, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and the Jets reward him with the richest cornerback contract in NFL history, $120.4 million, $30 million a year. Within a year of signing it, they shipped him to Indianapolis. Sit with that. Franchises do not trade generational corners, they just made the highest paid ever unless the film says something the fans don't want to hear. And what happened when he got to Indy? The Colts collapsed, 7 straight losses to close the season, no playoffs. Gardner banged up for most of the stretch run, watching from the sideline while the defense he was supposed to transform fell apart. And here's the number that ends the debate, three career interceptions. The highest paid cornerback in the history of the sport has 3 career picks and 0 career playoff games. That is not a lockdown legend, that's a brand, and brands don't tackle. Number 9, Caleb Williams. Chicago has fully crowned this man MVP conversations, face of the franchise, the savior. And I get it, the arm talent jumps off the screen. But the numbers underneath the highlights are ugly and nobody wants to say it out loud. 58.1% completion rate. That is the worst of any returning starter in the entire league, and it went down from his rookie year. He got less accurate with a year of experience. Now here's the stat that should genuinely scare Bears fans. He led the whole NFL in touchdowns thrown to wide open receivers. Wide open, nobody within 5 yards. That is not a quarterback elevating an offense. That is a play caller scheming receivers free and a quarterback collecting the credit for layups. And the durability red flag is already on film. 68 sacks as a rookie, the most in football because the internal clock just isn't there yet. None of this means he's a bust. It means the crown came 3 seasons before the resume. And when the reputation arrives before the production, before a single playoff win, before a single signature January moment, that's the textbook definition of overrated. Number 8, Justin Herbert. The prettiest throws in football, a $262.5 million contract. Every quarterback ranking has him top 5, every highlight package makes him look like a cheat code. Now ask a Chargers fan what any of it has actually bought them in January. 0 playoff wins, not few, 0. He is 0-3 in the postseason. And the signature game of his career is still the one where his team led Jacksonville 27-0 and lost 4 interceptions that night. A 27-point playoff lead gone. That's not a fluke, that's the biggest stage he's ever been on and it's the worst he's ever played. In this past season, the Chargers claw their way back to the playoffs and the offense delivers 3 points. 16-3 shutout where the franchise quarterback never sniffed the end zone. At some point, elite talent that never wins anything stops being bad luck and starts being the scouting report. The arm is real. The rankings are real. The results have never once matched either. And that contract guarantees this same conversation at the same volume for years to come. That gap between the ranking and the results, that's what overrated means. Number 7, Micah Parsons. Green Bay went all in, 2 first-round picks out the door and a contract that made him the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the league. $188 million, $47 million a year, $136 million guaranteed for pass rusher, and 14 games into that historic deal, torn ACL. Season over. Now look, nobody is saying the talent isn't real. 12.5 sacks in 14 games is monster production. But best defender on the planet is a crown you earn in the games that matter. And that's exactly where the resume goes quiet. And here's the part everyone glosses over. Dallas, the franchise that drafted him, developed him, and watched him practice every single day for 4 years, looked at that price tag and said, take him. And the people who know a player best would rather have draft picks than pay the man. That tells you something the jersey sales don't. $47 million a year for a guy whose own team let him walk and whose knee gave out before the first playoff run. The hype lapped the reality a long time ago. Top 6, this is where it gets ugly. Number 6, Saquon Barkley. 2024, 2,005 rushing yards, historic. One of the greatest rushing seasons ever recorded. I'm not taking it away from him, I'm asking you to look at what happened next. 2025, 1,140, same player, same team, same scheme, almost 900 yards gone. What changed? Defense has got a full offseason of film. Best defensive line in football took half a step back. And suddenly the superhuman looked completely mortal. That's the tell. When a running back production swings 900 yards based on what the 5 guys in front of him do, the line was the superpower all along. Put any top 10 back behind that Philadelphia wall and they feast. The Eagles have spent years proving the system makes the runner. And there's a clock ticking under all of it. He's 28. The exact age where running backs fall off a cliff without warning. Massive workload, massive mileage, shrinking output. Praising Saquon like he carries that offense, when that offense demonstrably carries whoever's back there, that is overrated in its purest form. Number 5, A.J. Brown, now a New England Patriot, and the story of how he became one is the entire argument. The Philadelphia Eagles, a Super Bowl team, a contender in the middle of its window, ate over $43 million in dead salary cap just to get him out of the building. Say that out loud. $43 million of pure pain absorbed voluntarily to make a so-called number 1 receiver someone else's problem. Teams do not do that to real WR1s. They do it to end a migraine. And we all watch the migraine, reading books on the sideline during games, sulking about targets in a locker room that was winning everything always, finding a reason to be unhappy on the best team he'll ever play on. Notice who Philadelphia kept instead, Devonta Smith. Quieter, cheaper, 0 drama. Now Brown is on his 3rd team in 8 seasons. Catching passes in a New England rebuild, about to run the cleanest experiment in football. How much of that production was him, and how much was the machine around him? My money is on the machine. Divas with great hands are still divas. Number 4, Dak Prescott, $60 million a year, the highest paid player in NFL history at signing. Let that number hang in the air while I read you the January resume: 2 wins, 5 losses. In a full decade as the starting quarterback of America's team, he has never not once played in a conference championship game. 10 years, 0. The Cowboys are the most valuable sports franchise on earth, the most televised, most discussed, most protected team in the league. And every September the machine spins up the same story. This is finally Dak's year. And he piles up gorgeous numbers against soft regular season defenses. The seed looks great, the hype crests, and January arrives and the same movie plays with a worse ending. And every single time it's somebody else's fault. The kicker, the play calling, the refs. At what point does the $240 million quarterback become the common denominator? Great regular season quarterback, genuinely. But $60 million a year buys championships, not divisional round exits. Dallas is paying Super Bowl money for a January no-show and the whole sport just nods along. That's not a franchise quarterback. That's the most expensive treadmill in America. Top 3, if you're not already mad, you will be. Number 3, Travis Kelce. For Chiefs Kingdom types to comment, yes, legend, yes, first ballot Hall of Famer, yes, arguably the best to ever play the position. Was past tense, that's the entire point. The man is 36 years old and the tape has been whispering the truth for 2 straight seasons. From 1,300 plus yards at his peak down to 851 last year. That's 4th among tight end. 4th, he's not even the most productive player at his own position anymore, while somehow being the most famous football player on the planet. The podcast, the commercials, the cameras cutting to the family suite after every catch. The fame graph and the production graph crossed 2 years ago and they are sprinting in opposite directions, and that intersection has a name: overrated. Watch the routes, not the headline. The separation is gone. The yards after catch are gone. Kansas City keeps force-feeding the legend targets out of loyalty, and loyalty is beautiful, but loyalty doesn't beat cover 2. The name is all-time. The player right now is a nostalgia act with great marketing. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Yes, I'm serious. No, I'm not saying he's bad, I'm saying the gap between the legend and the current product is the widest gap in professional football. People talk about this man like it's still 2022. Here's what 2025 actually looked like: 7.15 yards per attempt, 26th in the NFL, 26. Our backup quality quarterbacks pushing the ball downfield more than the so-called greatest of all time. He hasn't cracked 4,000 passing yards in 3 seasons. The no-look magic, the 60-yard bombs off 1 foot, watch this year's film and count how many you find. What you'll find instead is an endless diet of checkdowns and screens dressed up as genius, a defense that's quietly become the real identity of that team. And a kicker cashing in the one-score games that used to be Mahomes' moments. And because the Chiefs keep winning, every narrow escape gets stapled to his legend instead of the defense that actually held. Greatest quarterback of his generation. Absolutely, the rings are real and nobody sane disputes them. But the best quarterback in football right now, the tape says no and the numbers say 26. Number 1, Josh Allen. Debatably, no player in NFL history has collected more praise for winning less. Buffalo breathe, stay with me because I'm going to use his best season, the MVP year, to make the case. He won that MVP by 21 votes over Lamar Jackson. 21. Now put the 2 seasons side by side. Lamar, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 119.6 passer rating. Statistically one of the greatest quarterback seasons ever played. The first 40 touchdown under 5 pick season in league history. Allen, 28 touchdowns, 3,700 yards, and a rating 20 points lower. That's not an MVP verdict, that's a Lifetime Achievement Award with better marketing. And underneath the trophy, the resume everyone refuses to read: 0 Super Bowl appearances. Not 0 wins, 0 appearances. Full career of January heartbreak, most of it administered personally by Kansas City, while the football world keeps grading him on vibes, effort, and hurdles. Ring settle arguments, he has none, and he isn't even the best quarterback in his own conference. Until that changes, Josh Allen is the most overrated player in the National Football League. Comments are open, come at me. That's the 10 honorable mentions before you go: Tua, Kyler Murray, and half the Jets roster. You know the drill, tell me who I got dead wrong, drop your own number 1 in the comments, and subscribe, because one of these guys is going to have a monster season just to spite me, and when it happens, I'll be right here to admit it. See you in the next one.